Well, hello, my name is David Shaw, and I'm excited to get to share about what God has done in my life. I grew up in a town called Waynesville, Missouri. I grew up in a Christian home. My dad was a pastor, and I'm thankful that my parents pointed me to the Lord in my growing up. As a young man at the age of 8, I placed my faith in Christ. I don't remember a whole lot about what was specifically preached that day, but what I do remember is contemplating my need for the Lord, that I didn't have any hope in and of myself, and that I was sinful, and that I needed to place my faith in Christ, and so I did. As a young man, I was very passionate about the Lord, in the Word, sharing my faith. I would even lead Bible studies with my friends, and just be excited about the Lord and what He was doing. And you know, I wish that I could say that that's how things always went in my life, but as I got into later high school and into college, I would often choose my own way and not the way that I knew the Lord had for me. I would get my priorities mixed up and made a lot of decisions that I'm not proud of today. But I'm grateful to stand before you and say that the Lord didn't just let me stay there. In a Jan term of 2014 at SBU, basically by myself in my dorm, I remember God just calling me out and saying, "You are not walking in the way that I have for you," and that you need to make some changes. And as I contemplated the way of my life, I agreed with the Lord, and that was where I felt like God really just called me back to live and walk in His way, to do things out of a love for Him and not so much out of a academic sense or what people thought I was supposed to be, or out of a need, but out of a genuine love for the Lord. Shortly after that, that's where I would meet my wonderful wife, Jalen, and we've been married for 7 years. We've got 2 beautiful kids, and I stand before you to say that God's grace is really the reason why I'm here. Through times where I get to serve at churches at SBU and at LBC shortly after I graduated from SBU, that's where God really would work out a calling that He placed on my life, even as young as the age of 12. But in these days, this is where I've seen God really just show me that He's called me to serve Him, to serve His people, and that He is the one who sustains, that He is the one who we can rely on. I've watched Him sustain Jalen and myself just through a lot of hardship, of loss, of joy, and of good times as well. And one verse that I really strive to live my life by is Ephesians 4:32, and that is to be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God in Christ forgave you. That's just what I want my life to be defined as. Someone who is gracious, someone who loves well and forgives others, just in view of everything that God has done for me. Because without Him and His faithfulness, I truly don't know where I would be today.